All right, boys and girls, this is just a quick video to kind of explain what you can do for math this week for some extra practice. So we're going to be focusing on simplifying expressions this week. So remember, simplifying expressions is following that order of operations. So the grab my dad a sandwich. And so you're going to start here with what am I learning today? I can simplify expressions. Okay, and remember that we don't use exponents in 5th grade. You'll learn about that next year. So we just focus on the grouping symbols, so parentheses and brackets, and then multiplication and division from left to right, and then addition and subtraction left to right. Okay, so your very first step, you're just going to go across the table like this. Step 1 is to watch. So there are 3 videos here. They're super quick. When you click on each one, you'll just click on the link. And it's just a couple example problems from some of our past tests. So it's just a couple minutes long each, and you're just going to watch these. If you want to work the problems out with the video, you can, or you can just watch. Okay, but there's 3 here. When you're done with that, so you could do that like on Monday, just, for an example. And then on Tuesday, you can start your practice, okay? And so the practice here, there's 2 different versions of it. The first one up here, if you click on it, this is the digital version. So if you want to work it out on the computer, and it's going to force you to make a copy. So you're just going to click Make a Copy. And it might take a minute to load. Okay, so then it says copy of, so you'll be able to edit it, and you can type your name up here in the title. Okay, so when you share with your teacher, we'll know who you are. And so it says simplifying expressions practice. Directions. These expressions have all been simplified, but some of them are wrong. So the first thing you're going to do is examine each solution. Then you're going to place the yellow outline square over the mistake if there is one. You can shrink or enlarge the box if necessary. Then you're going to place the green circle over the word right or wrong. And then finally, if the problem is wrong, you're going to solve it correctly in the blue outline text box. Okay, and then you can see on the slides here, these are the actual problems. There's 2 on each one, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, so there's 8 total problems, so not too bad. So let's just look at number 1 together. So we have the expression 5 parentheses 2 plus 3 and parentheses minus 7. So if we're following grab my dad a sandwich, we know the very first thing that we need to do is inside of our grouping symbol. So the first thing we should be doing is 2 plus 3. But you can see here that they actually did what first? Oh, they multiplied 5 times 2. And we know that's not correct. So we would drag this yellow box right here to show that this is where they went wrong. Was that they did this first when they should have done the grouping symbols first. So since we know they did it incorrectly, we're going to drag that green circle to wrong. And then we need to fix it over here. So this is something that you could type, or if it's easier, you can also write it out on a piece of paper. You could even take a picture of it and put it in there, or just, send us the pictures. Okay, so first thing again we want to do is in the parentheses. So we want to add 2 plus 3, which is 6. And we can drop our parentheses since we've done everything in them, and we know the 5 next to the parentheses means to multiply. So we need to do 5 times 6, and then we're going to add on the minus 7. I'll go to my next line here. Okay, so we've done all the grouping. Our next level is multiplication or division from left to right. So I see multiplication here. I don't see any division. So I'm going to go ahead and do 5 times 6 next, which is 30. Bring down my minus 7. So my last step is 30 minus 7, which gets me a final answer of 23. Okay, and that's it. And any problems you come across, if the solution is totally right and you drag this to right, you don't have to do the correct solution over here. All right. And let's go back over here so you'll work through those. There's also a printable version. So it's the same activity, but if you would prefer, if you have access to a printer at home and your parents want to print it for you, and you can do it that way, that's totally fine. No problem. And then either way, please make sure you check your work with the answers here when you are done. And if you missed any and you're not sure how to fix your mistakes, make sure you email your teacher and we will be happy to help you with that. Okay? So after you're done with the practice, now it's time to celebrate all of your learning and show off what you know. So I know there's a lot of links here, but just remember, look at the directions here. It says choose one way to show off your learning. Don't forget to share with your teacher for feedback. Okay, so there are 4 options listed. You are only going to pick one of them to then share with us. Okay, so you'll share whichever one you pick with your teacher so we can let you know if there's anything else we need to do with your learning or if you're ready for the next step. Option 1 is a Google form. It's actually from our Rock the Star, so I know there's a few of you that have already done this. If you have already done the Simplifying Expressions quiz in Rock the Star, I would just pick a different option to do, okay? But this is kind of just like a standard working through questions, multiple choice, okay? And you would just click submit when you're done, and it'll send us and yourself an email of how you did. That's one choice. Option 2 is called Expression Challenges. And again, it's going to force you to make a copy so that you can edit it. And don't worry if it takes a minute. See, it's even taking a minute on my computer. Okay, and so there's 2 challenges on here. Challenge 1 says create expressions that simplify to this number to 16. And then there's some rules you have to follow. So this one is a little bit trickier, and then there's a second challenge on here as well. You're trying to find expressions that simplify to 30, and again, there's some different rules that your expressions would have to follow. So this one is one where there's not a lot of questions, but it's going to take a lot of time for you sitting and thinking and just trying out different options. So if that's something that you like to do with math, you can pick this option. But if you know that's going to frustrate you, I would pick something else. Okay, option 3. You click on it. Okay, so this one is a little more if you're really into the creativity side of math. So you would make a Google slideshow teaching someone how to simplify expressions using the order of operations. So you just make a new Google Slides and you'd share that with your teacher when you're done. But you want to make sure you explain grab my data sandwich. What do all those symbols mean? What is the correct order? Make sure you have an example problem that you solve and then a couple problems for your students to try. Okay, so that's another option if you're kind of into more the creating type of stuff. And then this last option on here, it says printable at the end. So this is an option if the technology is just kind of overwhelming you, you're not really into feeling the technology, and you'd rather just print something out and work it out. You can print this out, or you even have to print it. Just work them out on a piece of paper from what you see on the screen. And then ask your parents to take a picture of it and send it to us. Or if you have a way to take a picture of it and email it to us, and then we can give you some feedback too on your learning. Okay? So again, I know there's 4 options there, but you're only picking one of them. Okay? And then just to direct your attention really quick, and that's it for the week. That's all you have to do. It's not that much. Okay? And if you finish early, that's great. You don't have to, necessarily be working on it all the way up to Friday at 3 o'clock. If you finish before then, send it to us and you're done with math for the week. Just a couple of things down here in these gray boxes. Additional language supports. So if you're having trouble with understanding what the words mean and stuff, click on that. There's some options to help you, especially if you'd like it in some things in Spanish. If you are looking for more of a challenge after you've done these 3 steps, this balanced equations open middle challenge is really fun. But again, that would be a totally optional thing. You don't have to do it. And then a link on here as well if you're just needing some extra help. But remember that the first thing you should always be doing if you're stuck and you need help is email your teachers, okay? Because we are here to help you. We want to help you. And we don't want anyone feeling frustrated or stuck or that they're alone in your learning, because you're not. We are here. We are still your teachers, and we're here to help you, okay? All right, so that pretty much sums up our plan for math this week. Don't forget to share all your awesome learning with us, and also make sure you're keeping in touch with us, emailing us if you need help. We're here to help you, okay? You got this, guys.